I awoke in Madame Rose's shop. Everything appeared to be normal. According to the broken clock on the desk, I had been asleep for... Wait. No. That wasn't right. I remembered glancing over at that clock, and it wasn't broken. Now it was, and it was also covered in a thin layer of dust. I quickly rose, free from my nausea, and strode towards the door leading to the back room. "Madame Rose?" I called out. Nothing. "Ma'am?" Still nothing. I quietly walked over toward the exit, taking note of how the glass was broken as well. And there was sand on the floor. I did not understand how there could be sand here. I took hold of the door handle and stepped out into the cool air of Oakershott. Except where I was not Oakershott, Louisiana. The place that lay before me was a vast, sprawling desert. The sky was colored a sickly orange, and the ground beneath me was covered with sand. Yellow crystals and withered tree roots jutted from beneath the sand at odd angles. On the horizon, I could make out towering structures, spires, and monuments. I turned around to face Madame Rose's shop, only to be met with a door. The same door I stepped out of, but it was not connected to any building. It was just the door that led inside the shop. There was no exterior to speak of. It was just a freestanding door. There was a silent figure, not 12 paces away from me. I walked over towards them. "I am deeply sorry, but where am I? Do you have any—" I did not finish my question, as I reeled back in shock and horror. The figure's face was badly distorted. Its jaw was missing, yet it did not bleed. In its place were strange blackened vines covered with oozing red pustules that traveled all the way down his naked, skeletal body. The man's left arm appeared to be made of cracking stone. His eyes were glazed over and partially rolled into his head. I stumbled back, stifling a scream. I ran in the opposite direction, not stopping despite how weak I grew. For hours, I wandered. Or was it years? I do not know. Time has no meaning in this place. During my wanderings, my mind grew feverish as I was bombarded with strange visions and alien memories. Memories of not one person, but of several individuals. Strange creatures that I now understand to be the ancient Ishatarians danced in my mind's eye. Histories and memories plagued my mind as I traversed the barren wilderness, never growing closer to the towering spires just beyond my vision. Ancient tales wove themselves into the fabric of my mind, stories of the Ishatarians and their ascent into godhood. While the universe was still young, higher beings and deities battled amongst themselves. A raging battle, a spinning cosmic orgy, a maddening dance between void and light and fire and flesh. After the great, spinning copulation between those that now sleep, a small group awoke to discover they had been birthed from the void that knew the names and titles of the great old ones. These were the first Ishatarians, but they had not yet become the fearsome deities known to legend. Aimless they wandered, devoid of purpose. They took refuge in a great cave, and there they remained, waiting for their fathers and mothers to return and give their life meaning. And then, after aeons of waiting, they saw it. A shining crack appeared in the air. It stood there, shining, hovering. A crack in the air, unconnected and unsupported by any walls or ground. It was this crack that made gods, for it radiated a celestial wind that the ancient Ishatarians breathed in deeply. For every passing century they resided near it, the more powerful the children without meaning became. Before long, their power was limitless, and their minds filled with knowledge and their hearts filled to the brim with purpose. They no longer waited for their absent progenitors. And so with newfound meaning, The children of royalty ascended to the peak of a sprawling pantheon. From their godly positions, they toppled the old gods and made themselves the new deities. They soon bred and populated the world from which they had appeared from the empty aether. Countless Vigintillions passed, and soon they forgot the origin of their power. They had taken the sacred fissure that made them what they had become and reduced it to a door they could utilize and pass through infinite barriers. A great aperture. In their hubris, they had forgotten what they had viewed as a god and only saw themselves as the pinnacle of divinity. They had seen themselves as the one true power, but others did not agree, for they who crawled in the dust had become tired of their Ishatarian overlords and devised a method to reduce them to the air from whence they had spawned. An illness that would kill an Ishatarian in a matter of seconds. But they who crawled in the dust did not succeed. Their pathogen turned against them, and the Ishatarians infected with the disease became stronger and larger at the expense of their sanity. They had slaughtered they who crawled in the dust and could not be stopped. So those not infected exiled the mutants to the swamplands, where those that carried the plague within themselves could not harm the divinity. Centuries passed, and those dethroned had become entitled to the power that had been renounced from them. They had declared war upon their untainted kindred, and they not touched by the infection reciprocated gladly. It had been expected that the corrupted ones be dispatched swiftly and without difficulty. Yet the children of royalty had not anticipated that after centuries of exile, those infected would regain their lucidity. And so the Dogma Volsht was born, the Void War. 1,000,000 years stretched onward with no end in sight. The Ishatarians had split into two factions, the Kravon Ishatar and the Dogma Ishatar. The Kravon had remained pure and untouched by the infection, and the Dogma were the hulking beasts of the acid-filled swamps. Then there came a time when a wise Ishatarian, one of the very first, the Pallid Father, had grown tired of the pointless war that laid waste to their once beautiful world. He had set out to create a weapon, a single child that would bring both factions together once more and end the Dogma Volsht, the Pale Physician. As these thoughts raced through my mind, I wandered, as aimless as those first Ishatarians, until I came upon a stone outcropping. I stumbled upon the rocks and choked on the frigid yet dusty air. That was when I heard it. A growl, a snarl, a vocalization as of some massive beast. I whipped my head in the direction of the sound, and then I saw it. A pale form, muscular and massive. Its face was adorned with tentacles, and its eyes blazed with a golden fire deep within them. It approached me. It pointed at me.
Twofold being, I require a vessel. You are suitable.
It reached forward and raised me above its head. I gazed into its eyes, and memories flashed before my mind, images of blood and carnage. In my mind, I saw the face of an old man with a long white beard, an old man I recognized as Quentin Caverloft. That was when I knew. "You!" I screamed. "You're the creature!" I was referring to the beast that slaughtered the Order of the Ninth Scorpion.
How astute you are.
The monster growled. I struggled. "You called me a twofold being. What does that mean?"
I was a being composed of 3 segments: mind, body, and soul. I am a 3-fold being. You are 2-fold. Your mind and soul are one.
I did not understand what this creature was talking about. All I wanted was to be free from this creature's grasp. I wanted to be back on the flight to Arkham and away from this accursed place.
require a vessel. My corporeal body is gone, and I must walk amongst you pitiful, insignificant reprobates.
The beast roared into my face.
Your mind shall wander this waste. I will tear your soul from you, and use it to tether myself to your mortal plane.
His four-fingered claw raised above my head. The world began to spin and my vision started to blur. The golden glow of his eyes began to brighten until it was all-encompassing. I screamed in agony as the world dropped out from under me, and I slipped into unconsciousness. I awoke on a stone slab in the outcropping. I felt weak and diminished. My throat was dry and I attempted to call out for anybody within the vicinity, but no sound came out. I tried again. Nothing. I tried to scream, but all that came out was silence. I crawled my way towards a small cave opening and sat within it. I know I cried, but no tears fell. It has been hours now, yet I do not hunger. I do not know how long it has been. I have attempted to end my suffering with a sharp stone numerous occasions, but I feel no pain. I do not bleed. The crude blade pierces my flesh but leaves no wound. Whatever has happened, whatever has taken place, that monster, that creature, has taken my body and now wears it as its own. My voice, my soul, my body, now at the whims of the beast responsible for the mass slaughter of the Order of the Ninth Scorpion. My body, inasmuch as I can call it a body, withers and decays. My right arm has already crumbled to dust and my eyes are weak, so I cannot see much. All I do know is the words that I write are not English. With my hands I can feel that what was once human words have now devolved into strange symbols. Worse yet, I can hear every word that beast says with my voice. I can feel everything that monster does, every gesture and handshake, and I can feel every organ that is torn from the body of that monster's victims. My name was Daniel Carson, and I used to be human. Remember me.
An official statement has been taken from Rose Markins, professionally known as Madame Rose. She has described the individual as being a Mr. Daniel Carson. She cannot explain what came over Mr. Carson after he lost consciousness, but this is what she had to say. I don't know what the hell came over him. He was such a nice gentleman, and after he woke up after about 4 minutes, he was just a beast. I don't know if he had the rabies they're always talking about. Another weird thing was his eyes. Bright golden orbs of light. It was freaky. I think if Mr. Price hadn't come along when he did, I wouldn't be here. The search for Mr. Carson is ongoing, as he has been classified as high risk. If you have any information on the whereabouts of Mr. Daniel Carson, please contact the Okershott Police Department. In other news, the weather is a chilly 67 degrees Fahrenheit and is not expected to go any higher than 68 degrees. Food sales have skyrocketed, and there is a slight chance of rain later.
Hello everyone, and thank you once again for tuning in to Freaky Feline Productions. This has been the Account of Daniel Carson, written and performed by Dean M. Coursien. To show that you enjoyed it, be sure to leave a like and comment what your favorite moment was, or what you liked about it. To help out the channel, be sure to subscribe and share this video with as many people as you can. As always, I look forward to seeing you in my next post, but until then, stay safe out there.